2020, August 24th, 12:39 p.m. 2020, August. The trial of Jesus was difficult on a good day and close to impossible to understand, describe, and define on a bad day, period. The trial of Jesus, first off, took place in a completely different place than the followers of Paul, that included the bishops of Lyon in about 120 to 130, about 115 to 135 AD, would allow or accept, period. The trial of Jesus actually took place at Traitor's Post, which is approximately the same place that Romulus was executed for challenging Romulus for the throne of Rome, period. The throne of the city. It wasn't called Rome yet. Or may have been called Rome, but it was still in the early minutes, hours of the situation, so things were a little bit weird, period. Now, whether or not Romulus's men performed the bow test on Remus, or not, is an excessively good question, but the facts remain that there's a mastaba literally a couple dozen feet, less than a couple dozen feet away from the belly button, the Traitor's Post of Rome, period. And that mastaba, about 250 years later, after the events in question, was marked with the grave of Romulus. The problem is that those letters would not exist for more than a century and a half. From the point of the event to the point where early Latin was created, there was more than a century and a half between. So there's no possible way that those labeling of the grave of Romulus can be accurate in any way, shape, or form, period. The only thing that can be accurate, can be determined to be accurate in this situation, are the facts and evidence regarding, whether or not the mastaba whether it was used for a 1A, 1B ceremony, memento mori, or not, period. Quite likely, period. In truth, there's a way that it could be the grave of Romulus, although it'd have to fly in the face of a multitude of mythologies and stories and the founding ideas of Rome. That would have to go in the face of that, because technically speaking, Romulus walked into the middle of the battle, and a storm came down, and that storm lifted him up and out and to someplace else, and he either was lifted up to heaven or he was obliterated in some kind of a tornado, and his body was torn completely apart by the force of the volcano, and whatever portions landed other places, 100 yards, miles, or hundreds of miles away, period.